Here at altitude in the mountains, why did you decide to change up the location of your training camp?
Because my last fight, I trained the last month in Guadalajara, and I feel good. My body feels good in the altitude. That's why Eddie choice have the idea to come and train here in the altitude.
Now, in your opinion, you could have obviously picked anybody in the world to fight because everybody wants to fight you. Why Jermell Charlo?
I think it's the perfect fight right now. He's in the spirit, in his weight class, and I'm in the spirit, and he's calling me out for a long time. So, and I hear he's talking a lot of things. Yeah, and I never forget. No, he say Canelo going down, and Canelo can do this, can do that. He never believed in my skills. But I guess what? He's gonna find out soon. So I'm very excited for this fight because he and his brother never believe in my skills, and that's one of the things motivate me for this fight. And I'm very excited because he's almost here.
This is a fight that you mentioned about how this has gone back quite a while. You guys There was talks about you guys fighting in 2014, 9 years ago. So you remember all that stuff in terms of what was being said and the dialogue that was transpiring.
Yeah, I never say anything, but I never forget. I always see everything, and I never forget. And I know he and his brother always talk about me.
I don't forget shit either.
Believe in my skills and never believe in what I can do in the ring. But uh, I like that because this kind of fights motivate myself. So that's why I'm very excited for this fight.
You mentioned the fact that you believe and you are very happy to be back with Premier Boxing Champions here on Showtime. You stated that Premier Boxing Champions right now is the best boxing platform in the world here on Showtime as well. How glad are you to be back with Premier Boxing Champions?
No, I'm glad to be back with PBC and work with them, with Al Hyman and everybody involved.
Al Hyman.
Because the best need to be with the best. So that's why I believe we are the best right now.
Is that why you have this sense of, I feel like you're re-energized, in terms of fighting some of the world's best? Jermell Charlo, undisputed at 154, big, strong kid. Do you feel an extra sense of motivation being back here with PBC and fighting the guys that you're going to fight?
Yeah, I'm motivated. I'm very excited because, I'm fighting the best always, not just this time, but I always make the best fights out there. And like I say, I'm motivated to be back with PBC, and I'm motivated to be involved in this fight because this fight is talking about for a long time, and I'm excited to show them my skills, my real skills, and because they never believe in my skills, and now they're gonna feel my skills.
Now, you have been known as the world's best pound-for-pound fighter, and you've held that distinction, several times during the course of your career. Now people are talking about, Terrence Crawford being number one. How much do you want to go out and have a defining performance to say, listen, I'm still the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world?
Look, I always believe I'm not number one, always, my whole career, because you need to believe in yourself, and I believe I'm the number one. But like I said before, I think it's disrespect for other fighters put just one number one, because it's a couple guys there who deserve to be in the top two.
Well, now as we look at, you're 33 years of age. You've been fighting since you were 16, 17 years in the sport. Have you thought about how much time you have left, or are you taking it by a fight-by-fight basis? I know that this is a part of fight number one of a 3-fight deal with Premier Boxing Champions. Has that entered your mind? I know you got a great golf game, and it looks like you might be headed down that route at some point in your life.
I still feel young, fresh, and I think I never think about the end of my career. I just train and fight every year, and we'll see in the future. But I still young. I feel great. I feel strong, and I feel in my best.
Now, in terms of as you look forward to September 30th, I know that you love the fans, especially the Mexican fight fans. How much do they motivate you? Do they energize you? Do they fuel you to continue to go out and perform at this high level? Oh,
no. I feel proud about Mexico. I feel proud about my fans. I feel proud about represent Mexico, because I feel proud about my country, and I feel proud to represent my fans all around the world too. But I just feel amazing when I walk into the arena and see every Mexican with a lot of flags, Mexican flags, and Mexican music. I just feel great, represent my country.
And also, Canelo, as we get ready to let you go and continue training, being here in isolation in the mountains, does that sort of, give you that extra, focus? Do you like being away from everything?
Yeah, I like being here in 100% focus. I like being in the mountain, just with my team, focus on the fight, and that's made me feel better and made me feel ready for the fight.
Well, Canelo, we'll talk to you after your workout. Thank you so much. Canelo Álvarez, the super middleweight champion of the world, getting ready to work out. It is the Canelo Álvarez workout as he gets set to take on Jermell Charlo Saturday, September 30th. Showtime pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, presented by Premier Boxing Champions. The Canelo Álvarez workout continues here as we get set for Canelo and Charlo, September 30th.
All right, let's talk for a little minute. We're here live real time. Canelo was having his live media workouts with my headphones. There we go. That's better. I'm trying to figure out where it's at. I forgot. Doesn't it say in the description where this is at? Let's see here. Media workout. Where's he at? Usually he's takes camp in San Diego, but in this case, I think he's somewhere else. I think he has a training camp somewhere else. Is he in Big Bear somewhere? Anybody know? Well, anyway, I think Canelo's on his last legs. I'm going to be honest with you. I understand that, you know, us Mexicans, we got to stick together. And, you know, we're very, very tribalistic people regarding, you know, all us Mexicans, we all support Mexicans and Hispanics. But in this case, for those who don't know, I identify as being half black, half Irish, and half full-blooded Chicano. So, with that being said, I've been caught up in a little bit of a what did he say? I don't know how to say the word. I don't even know if that's a word. Let's say a race debate on whose side should I pick. Now, Canelo kind of checks two boxes because he's like, he is Mexican, full-blooded. But at the end of the day, you know, it's an Irish man right there. So, Jermell Charlo being a black man, you know, I'm caught up. I'm caught up. But no, all jokes aside, I think that Jermell Charlo can do it. The question is, how is he going to react to getting punched in the stomach? Canelo's going to punch him in the stomach. Bivol did very well by not really overcommitting. He just outboxed Canelo. You know, it was a few times where I would get so frustrated with Bivol, like, go ahead, like, load up on the shots, finish him off, you can get him out of there. But he just would back off. He just completely outboxed Canelo. Charlo, I don't see him doing that. I don't see him doing that at all. However, I do think he can get a decision. A close decision, but I think he can get one. I think he can get one. Jermell Charlo had his media workout yesterday. They had Booker T there. King Booker. Fight's going to be on September the 30th on pay-per-view. It's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern start time. They've been doing that lately, so our pay-per-views are over before midnight. Great card. Down below in the description box, the fights I'm looking forward to the most is Yordenis Ugas versus Mario Barrios. Jesus Ramos Jr. versus Erickson Lubin. Don't be surprised if that's going to be a final eliminator for a WBC title, if it's not yet. Or is it? Isn't that for the WBC interim? That title's already on the line, right? No, it can't be because Brian, let me check something real quick. Let me pull up the card. You got Brian Mendoza taking on Tim Tszyu. He's the interim champion. But by time Charlo steps into the ring September the 30th, he will be stripped of the WBO title. Then Tim Tszyu and Brian Mendoza will be fighting for the full WBO title on October the 15th. That's going to be on Showtime. As Tim Tszyu now is the WBO interim champion. Confusing, but follow me. Let's listen to what Chepo.
Thank you so much.
My bad. Where's Chepo?
Por estar con nosotros. Can you tell us, you guys could have picked anybody in the world to fight, but you decided to take on Jermell Charlo, the undisputed champion, super welterweight champion of the world at 154. ¿Por qué tienes el oponente de Jermell Charlo?
Simplemente porque es un campeón indiscutido, es un campeón de primer nivel, es un boxeador que ha venido demostrando grandes cosas y pues va a ser una gran pelea.
He said it's going to be a great fight. Jermell Charlo has proven and accomplished a lot in his career. He's a world-class fighter, and I think we get an excellent matchup. Now, Eddie, training here in the mountains, why did you guys decide to switch up training camps? ¿Por qué Canelo y el equipo están entrenando aquí en las montañas?
Pues porque llega el momento en que tienes que cambiar de campamentos. Estuvimos trabajando más de 5 años, 6 años en San Diego, nos fue muy bien, la verdad. Y ahora quisimos venir a trabajar a la altura. Aquí Lake Tahoe es una muy buena opción y nos hemos sentido bastante bien y aparte, pues oxigenarnos más.
Hold on, I'm going to
Well,
translate.
there are times
never mind, Ray
in
got it.
a career where you have to change things up from a training camp standpoint. And we spent 5 or 6 years in San Diego. We got some great results there. It was very good to us. But being here in Lake Tahoe, the altitude is very good for us. And we feel strong here. And it's just, it's been terrific to be here, in the mountains, in the altitude. Now, assuming Canelo gets the victory on Saturday, September 30th against Jermell Charlo, have you thought about what could be next? ¿Están pensando si Canelo puede ganar contra Jermell Charlo, si el oponente que quieren en mayo cuando Canelo va a regresar al cuadrilátero?
Pues sí, lo importante es ganar, vernos bien. Estamos trabajando muy fuerte, creo que tenemos que ganar la pelea por cualquiera de las dos vías. Y después de eso, pues ver qué es lo que viene, pero Saúl está para pelear con el que sea.
Canelo's ready to fight whoever it might be, but right now we are squarely focused on Jermell Charlo, and we know that is going to be, that's our task coming up on September 30th, but, we're ready for whoever comes our way, following September 30th, but that is what we have our sights set on. And also, my final question to you, Eddie, Canelo is 33 years of age, perfect world. How much longer would you like to see him go? Canelo está peleando hasta los años de 17 años. ¿Cuánto más quieres en tu mente para Canelo empezar su carrera?
Pues mientras se mantenga disciplinado, mientras tenga el amor por su trabajo, por el boxeo, él puede estar peleando muchos años más. Tiene muy buena condición, está muy fuerte, no está golpeado, tiene mucha experiencia, tiene muy buenos reflejos. Él está realmente muy sano en todos los aspectos y mientras él se mantenga en el gimnasio, se mantenga enfocado en su trabajo, él puede estar peleando muchos años más.
Yeah, as long as Canelo keeps, with his focus being as he is, he hasn't taken much damage. He certainly has, quite a bit of energy. And as long as he has a love for the sport, Canelo can continue to fight for the next several years and just, continue in his career. So we will allow Eddie to train Canelo Álvarez. Eddie, muchas gracias. Nos vemos on September 30th. Eddie Reynoso, the esteemed trainer of Canelo Álvarez, as the Canelo Álvarez workout continues here on the Showtime Sports and PBC YouTube page.
How you guys doing, man? You guys all right? Here's the card. Garcia versus Reséndiz, Ugas versus Barrios, Ramos versus Lubin, Canelo versus Charlo. Charlo, September the 30th, he's going to lose the WBO title. Once he steps into the ring, he'll be stripped. The IBF title is next. The WBA is trash. They make me sick. So they'll probably let him keep his title there. The WBC, they'll make him champion in recess or something. Don't be surprised if they bring back franchise champion. But I don't see the WBA or the WBC stripping him. But the WBO is already gone.
You're watching the Canelo Álvarez workout here as Canelo will square off against.
Hold on, Ray Flores, company man. Tim Tszyu and Brian Mendoza is going to be fighting for the full WBO title on October the 15th. The WBO gave Jermell Charlo to September the 30th to fight Tim Tszyu, or he would be stripped. So the fact that he's fighting Canelo and not Tim Tszyu, and it was a written, WBO put out something written, basically that belt's gone. Charlo has been upset with the WBO, but at the end of the day, you were supposed to fight Tim Tszyu. And it's not like the belt is on the line for Canelo because the fight's taking place at 168. I don't consider the 168 pounds to be a defining factor or any factor in this fight, in my personal opinion, outside of Canelo having taken punches from bigger fighters all the way up to 175. He has stopped bigger fighters. But Canelo, it costs to be the boss. He's got a lot of wear and tear. Injuries have piled up over the years. And if we're being honest, he's never been the most fleet of foot type of guy. He's never been a guy to throw, 5-6 punch combinations. I mean, he'll do it every now and then. But more so, he's a burst type of fighter. Charlo just got to not get knocked out. I think he can do enough on the cards to keep it close. And even though they're both 33 years old, Canelo's been active. The Charlos, or just overall PBC fighters, not so much. But it's going to be a good card. $84.99 though. That's the new price that they're giving us for these fights now, man. That's some bullshit. Tank Davis fights $84.99 from here on out. Canelo fights $85. His 3 with Showtime at least. Crawford Spence 2 $85. Jamal hasn't officially retired. He's going through some things. I saw an interview. I covered it the other day. Like, dude, whatever he went through or going through, it's real. What's the fight of the week? ESPN, right? It was the ESPN Plus. No, you can't do that no more. Actually, you can, regarding if the fight's going to be on YouTube afterwards. People who upload the fights to YouTube directly after, you have probably like an 8-hour window before like they come and yank it down. So yes, you can still watch fights, pay-per-views after the fight on YouTube, but you got to be quick. And it might be a little distorted, like they'll zoom in, to try to mess with the copyright system. But I remember YouTube used to be a jungle. Like, you used to be able to watch anything on here. It was anything goes. People were getting rich off of just fake thumbnails, and it was the wild, wild west. Now YouTube is just soft. YouTube used to be a great place for like really underground documentaries, band stuff. Now it's just like, soft. I've had my issues. Remember, I was suspended. Basically, I made no money off of YouTube for 2.5 months. Like, it was frozen. So when you get suspended from YouTube, the money that you made is frozen until you're off of suspension. So that was pretty trash. It was Ghislaine Maxwell. 2 different videos I did on Ghislaine Maxwell and one on Pizzagate. They taught me my lesson. They taught me a lesson. They suspended me. And funny enough, ironically, it's the second time it happened. The first time they suspended me was my suspension wasn't up until the day after Canelo versus Plant. So I couldn't cover that fight on YouTube. Make no money, no nothing. The second time, back in May, it was for Ghislaine Maxwell. And they made sure that they suspended me. So my channel was off of suspension, and I was able to apply for the YouTube Partner Program on July the 30th, a day after Crawford Spence. My channel just got remonetized about 3.5 weeks ago, give or take. So what that means is my channel is back to being a baby again. So when you get suspended or demonetized, you go through a period of probation where you got to pump out a lot of content, start working your way back up to where you were in the algorithm. So, that's how they punish you. So they shot me all the way back down to the bottom, no matter if you got 100,000 subscribers or not. Then you got to start working your way back up. So luckily for me, I did a video on Florian Marku last week. Did like 175,000 views, like crazy. What is he, Lithuanians? Well, anyway, Albanian. They were all over the channel, like talking all this shit. So that helped me boost things up. So I was like, all right, cool. I could see my views going up a little bit for certain videos. You type in certain things, keywords and tags. It's starting to, so things are boosting back up. I need like a good, solid 20,000 view videos, something like that. Basically, like I need like 100,000 views or so to really get things really pumping again, where I'm actually making some doggone money. I'm doing this for my health, man. But yeah, YouTube don't like when you be talking about the real shit. They were on me. They taught me a lesson. This thing looks cool. What is that? Some type of that's a muscle loose. What do they call those things? But that's a manual one. That's not the one that you see like NFL and NBA players using, the electric one. That's manual. Yeah, they found that no good Cavalcanti, that 5-foot midget escaped convict, girlfriend murderer, stabbed her 38 times. Fucking, wow, in front of her kid. Oh, you can't say midget. Don't want to get canceled. I had to tell my daughter that. She was like, is he a midget? It's like, you can't say that. Like, it's dwarfism. You gotta say dwarf or little person. Yeah, little person. I don't feel comfortable calling somebody a dwarf. Like you see like a dwarf kid, but like, oh yeah, this is a dwarf. Dwarf suffering from dwarfism. Let me shut up. I don't want to get canceled. Let's see. Is Ray Flores running his mouth? So what happens during these media workouts is you have Ray Flores interviewing people every now and then throughout the course of the media workout. But then for the most part, he's saying the same thing over and over and over again. September the 30th on PBC on Showtime pay-per-view. You're going to have a spectacular night of boxing. Same thing over and over. But he never tell you the price. He don't be like, and just for $84.99, folks. They never tell you the price. You got to find that shit out on your own. So yeah, man, everything cool. Look, my sleep pattern is all jacked up. Also, I'm getting a home remodel. So, kitchen, dining room, living room. They're working on the bathroom now. Hallways, 2 bedrooms, and then finally, I'm going to redo my man cave, get rid of all this. My man cave has like a 1970s and 80s decor, like the wood panels, and that shit. And I think my floor tiles got some asbestos. Got to get that shit up. Muscle massager, yeah, there you go. But yeah, boxing been kind of fucked up. I don't know the whole story about Frank Martin, but from what I did research from the outside looking in, it looks like he's a no good ducker. Why don't nobody want to fight Shakur Stevenson? What'd he do? Why nobody want to fight him? I'm tired of these motherfuckers not fighting. You know who make me sick? Who I used to love, man. I was a big time supporter. Tyson Fury. That Dosser. What happened to him? I mean, I get it. The money. I get it. The money. But it's like, come on, man. I mean, it's like, all right, you're going to fight Francis Ngannou. Cool. By the way, even though I'm going to be bitching and complaining, I'm going to be here covering the fight. Like I told myself, let me get off track. You mind if I talk to you guys? I told myself, I said, you know what, Terrell, you're 40 years old now. I've had a hell of the last 5 years. 5 years ago, for those who don't know, was in a coma. Life support for a fucking week. A coma for fucking like 5 weeks or something. Straight trash. It was whack. Paralyzed from the neck down for weeks. You know, couldn't wipe my ass. Feeding bag, couldn't. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is it's been a lot of stop and go traffic over the last 5 years with me. This is my second big channel, by the way. I started on YouTube 2010. I would do videos once a week. This was back then. I was getting 100,000 view videos every week. It was crazy. So when I left that channel, we had 28,000 subscribers. I left that channel in 2015. It's 2015. It was 2014 and 2015. I forgot. Started this channel. So overall, I've been around YouTube for a long time. You know, I could have had 200,000 subscribers a long time ago, maybe 300 by this time. I'd never been consistent. I've had a lot of outside issues that have stopped me from being consistent. Let me tell you, true story. During COVID, this women's advocacy group, who I just straight destroyed their shit. Somebody tried to Me Too me off of false charges, like known false charges. So anyway, I had to go through that shit. Women's advocacy group, lesbians, they were after me, trying to drag my name through the mud. Well, anyway, I ended up getting the president to resign. So I've been through a lot of shit. So I went away for my birthday to Texas. Went to San Antonio. Did the most drinking I've done probably since like 2013. But what I did was, I wasn't drinking like really like hard drinks. I was drinking like just basically beer and like fruity drinks. You will never catch me buying a mojito, a Bahama Mama. Like, I'm straight Kettle One soda lime. Whiskey sour. I don't want don't put no cherry, nothing. You would never give me none of that shit. But when I was in Texas, I was like, you know what? Give me that electric lemonade. Damn it. Give me that hurricane, whatever the hell it was, in the little fucking little glass. So as I was sitting there in my hotel room, drunk, I'm thinking like, yo, you're living a really good life. The last 2 years have been amazing. Like, amazing. I'm talking about, like, I finally made it to a point where I have everything a 40-year-old man should have. And I feel that men should be a provider. I'm a very traditional dude in that way. You should be able to provide not only for your family, but for your parents as well. So long story short, I have a different view on YouTube and content going forward. Now, I haven't been active this week is because I'm getting my bathroom done. And it's really difficult to work with all this clanging of the pipes. And it's been bad. Sleep's been all messed up. So I guess what I'm saying is you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. I was very bitter with boxing. I was able to reach the heights of boxing media. Like, I've been to some big time events, and just to be able to have the access to be able to go to those events. But I did it my way. Fight View 360, we ain't suck no. Listen, you'd be surprised like how some of these media people just go to these events and they just start, excuse my language, they just start performing fellatio. I said, I'm not going to be sucking nothing to get into no boxing event. I'm not going to sit here and be in this boxer face and not say something that I wouldn't say online. That's how me and the Charlos got into some beef. Adrian Broner threatened me, and he owes me $50,000. Radio Raheem and Dave Chappelle owe me $250. I'm not even lying. Who else did I get into some shit with? I got into some shit with Kelly Swanson, but she didn't cuss me out, though. She cussed my colleague out, Rob. I had sent her an email, like, listen, unprofessional, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I've grown a lot. I'm older now. Because I'm thinking, like, yo, I'm out here working my ass off, you know, putting a lot of money into this boxing, you know, like really covering it, like covering some low-down degenerate fights. And all I want is to be able to send somebody to the fight to send me some footage. That's it. But water under the bridge, it's old. You know, old school, you know, long time ago. I look at things much more differently. I'm a lot more professional in the way I approach things now. For those who know me, I used to be really, really big on social media, saying all this and everything. I had my reasons. It ended up working out for me in the long run. People didn't understand that when I was putting all that shit on social media, but all that shit came, it was in a trial. Like all my posts over the years about my child and all that, it came in handy. It worked. So now I don't do none of that stuff no more. I just go to nice ass places, you know, eat fine ass foods. Got a bunch of video games and shit that I don't even play. Bunch of gadgets. And just overall doing well. But when it comes to boxing, I decided that I'm going to start going back to being like who I was before I was actually going to events, because I got to be honest with you, I have no intention on going to any events myself. I just don't have the. I tried. I thought about it. Even when I went to Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez, I just don't have it. I just don't have it no more. I got sick that air. I was supposed to be there. I went to the fight week. I was supposed to be there for fight night, but I had like a bad asthma attack. But anyway, it's just not for me. Now, I'll go to a media event, but if I go to a fight, that means I'm really trying to work that event. But as it stands right now, I just have no issues. I mean, I have no, let's see if he's doing an interview.
Of Lake Tahoe, it is Canelo Álvarez, Jermell.
He's in Lake Tahoe.
September 30th, the Canelo Álvarez workout continues here on the Showtime Sports and PBC social media pages.
So now, you know, I'm going to be traveling, getting out. I was heavily considering going to Wilder, and I might attempt Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Luckily for us, we have a really good relationship with Matchroom Boxing. You know, so that's doable. But I'm thinking about that. You know, we don't know if it's going to happen in Saudi Arabia, and the other places they're looking at is Wembley as well. But yeah, also just boxing media people just be just the, you know what it makes me feel like paparazzi, because that's really what we are. Too well, no, paparazzi more like stalks you and harasses you to get their photos, you know. But I feel like paparazzi, and I'm not paparazzi. Not paparazzi. So yeah, I think Jermell Charlo is going to beat Canelo. I think he cooked. The injuries will add up on you. And who knows? Maybe Jermell may be hungrier. But I don't see Jermell going back down to 154 again, that's for sure. And definitely not for no Tim Tszyu. And Terrence Crawford's already said he only wanted Jermell because it was undisputed. He's trying to chase history. And I really do strongly believe that if Canelo wins, they're going to make that Canelo versus Crawford fight. It's going to happen. Bomac, he goes to court on October the 9th. A lot of people don't understand. They've been saying he's been framed. Dog, you don't see nobody saying, you don't see Crawford, nobody saying that. Except, listen, from my understanding, for him to be held, I'm trying to figure out how it was worded. I even know the jail that he's in. For him to be held the way he is, something happened or he said something. You know, or he admitted in some type of way. That's what I'm gathering. It ain't no conspiracy. Bomac is looking like he did some dumbass shit. Like, I just want to write him You know, like, dear Bomac, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Great job on getting the Trainer of the Year. Even though it's not a lock yet, hope all is well. Hey, Bomac, just one question before I go. What the fuck were you thinking? P.S. Keep up the good work. Like, what was he thinking? The rumor is he flew to the UK with Chris Eubank Jr. and team in VIP or on a private jet. And basically, it's a much more laxed process as far as TSA, getting anything onto the plane. It is confirmed that he was flying home by himself, you know, from the UK. He was trying to go from the UK to Atlanta. Atlanta in the States is basically Atlanta, Denver, basically our two busiest airport hubs. A lot of our layovers happen there to go other places. So he was trying to go from the UK to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta likely to Omaha home. He checked his bag, not a carry-on. He checked his bag. It went through the scans. They found, as they're saying, like a gun, basically not even hidden. It just was like just in there, just in the bag. And they stopped him before he boarded the plane. And supposedly it was some ruckus. Now, he did get robbed when he was over there with Amir Khan. Or attempted robbery. I don't remember the story. Was it a robbery or attempted robbery? And you know, it's a lot of knife attacks over there in the UK. They love poking people. So he made a comment along the lines, you know, he ain't gonna never let that happen again, you know, and this time is looking like he was like, I'm gonna come prepared just in case something happened. But it's like at the end of the day, Bomac, what were you thinking? Yeah, I think that Charlo can win. Why would he not be able to win? Why would he not have a chance? Canelo, even though he fights at 168, he's not necessarily the bigger fighter. I don't consider him to be. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. But back to the Bomac situation. People think that it was some conspiracy. They put the shit in the bag to try to, I don't know, why Bomac? You know, to try to disrupt Crawford's camp. I heard a lot of dumb shit. To try to disrupt Crawford's camp. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And also, once again, why Bomac? Crawford also has shot down the idea of a fight with Danny Garcia. Here, I'll show the tweet. We can do double screens here. I still would entertain Crawford versus Keith Thurman, but Keith Thurman might as well just retire. Let's see. Right screen, left, there you go. Keith Thurman might as well just hang him up. These were ugly. Somebody in the comments said, what did he say? That he looked like Emmett Till. Like, and I was like, y'all motherfuckers are cold. People thought these were distorted images. Like, look at this. He got his ass whipped. And this picture right here, every time I see this, I just be like, my gosh. This one right here, where is it at? Look, he just looked just like in just ultimate despair. Like, like he crying. Look at her. She's like, ah, shit, goddamn. And look at this dude like, ooh, shit. How are they going to sell this rematch? How are they going to do it? How are they going to sell this rematch? By the way, take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. How are they going to sell this rematch? Also, anybody know anything about if he's still with Derrick James? Those rumors have been circulating around. This is what Terrence Crawford had to say. My, how the tables have turned. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get the Canelo workout up there. Hold on. There we are. My, how the tables have turned, Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. You will never, and I mean never, get a shot at the top dog, and that's me. Y'all hoe asses didn't want no smoke when I wanted to fight, remember? Now y'all want to fight so bad. Go keep fighting each other like before. It's funny how all these fighters want to fight now, but back then all they could say was, I ain't fought nobody. Now they begging, looking for a check. Can't make this up. All these fighters that were claiming to be their own bosses was hiding behind the term call out. Now they talking like they can fight whoever they want. Boy, y'all some pawns. Go sit down. Ooh, that's a little shot at Al. And you know what? You can tell that he's been bitter at Al Heyman. You can just tell. You can just tell. And remember, Al Heyman, they didn't want Spence to take this rematch. They didn't want him to take the fight. They had Keith Thurman already playing. Errol Spence already confirmed this. He said, nope, I'm fighting Terrence Crawford. So you got to give Errol Spence credit because Al Heyman kept trying to steer him away. Errol Spence forced that fight. Steven Espinoza confirmed it. Errol Spence confirmed it. Terrence Crawford confirmed it. As far as Danny Garcia is concerned, you know, that ship has sailed. At one point in time, I remember I asked Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia about fighting Terrence Crawford. And basically, remember they were saying, you know, like the offers were too low. And I believe at one point in time was Danny offered either $3 or $5 million. I don't remember. But now you got to think with the inactivity, they may make a lot of money or a significant amount of money in one fight. But if you really think about it, they lose out because they're only fighting once a year. So you're still missing a payday. So let's say, for example, I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say you know you make $6 million a fight. Well, $3 million, right? But you only fought once a year. You know, if you would have fought a second time, you could have made 2, maybe 3. You know, they've been losing so much money. And if you look at it, these fighters are getting older. These dudes ain't young no more. Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman, they're in their 30s. You know, how long is this going to keep going? By the way, but Danny Garcia, to his credit, he's trying to fight Reséndiz Lara at a catchweight of 155. That fight is pretty much done. We're just waiting for it to be officially announced. And I hope they don't put that shit on pay-per-view. They're going to try it. I think if they're smart, they would put David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade and Reséndiz Lara and Danny Garcia on the same card. On the same card. The Lara fight's supposed to be at a catchweight of 155. You see, Yordenis Ugas, he's not even the co-feature. Him and Mario Barrios both headline pay-per-views. And they're fighting, you know, as the second fight in a pay-per-view. You want to get this money, you got to listen. Y'all got to humble yourselves. Guys like Danny Garcia, I'm sorry. Guys like Danny Garcia, like they not, like not a headliner no more. I mean, you can headline, yeah, they can headline depending, but not no pay-per-views. Like that shit's cooked. That shit's cooked. So yeah, I don't agree with fighters saying they'll never fight somebody for whatever reasons. But at the end of the day, you know, Crawford has every right to feel the way he does because they was doing him dirty. Like PBC, they was really freezing him out all the way down to his belts, like his belt. They wasn't even showing it on the broadcast. Like he was completely frozen out. What up, Donnell? How does PBC have dates for all these fights? They don't have dates. Remember, they only have Showtime, and Showtime is not a sports network. That's the thing. They don't have the dates. There's been that long-running rumor that the Showtime Paramount Plus merger, it's happened. It's been going on for some time, but they're going to be fully integrating soon. I'm talking about full integration. You know, it's close. It's not fully done yet. There's been that rumor that PBC is trying to sign up all these fighters as a bargaining chip, and they've been doing good because no matter what, they got Canelo for 2 more fights. They can go to a network. Look who we have. We got, you know, they've been building a portfolio, and you know they're putting on these big fights, trying to show the big execs above guys like Steven Espinoza that, look, boxing is valuable. We can make big fights. Let's hear these punches. Oh no, that music gotta go. Nah, we can't do that. That music gotta go. That music gotta go. Showtime got rid of it.
Plenty of power being displayed by Canelo Álvarez as he is working with his trainer Eddie Reynoso as they prepare for Jermell Charlo on Saturday, September 30th on Showtime pay-per-view. You know the power that Charlo possesses. We know the power that Canelo possesses. Oh my goodness, what a matchup we are going to get in a few weeks' time at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The super middleweight champion of the world looking to defend his championship successfully 3 times. Never been done before in the 4-belt era here at 168.
So let's talk about these. Let's talk about these injuries of Canelo. Okay, so let me see if I can find an article on them. So I know at one point in time it was a shoulder. It was a knee. It was a knee twice, right? Hand. Might have been an elbow. Let me see if I can find Canelo injuries. See if somebody's been keeping up. Fractured thumb. Injured his wrist against Caleb Plant, but fought after it with the injury. We got a hand confirmed here. Let me see if it was a shoulder. Canelo shoulder. Yeah, he's had an injured shoulder and hand. Yeah, he's had a lot of injuries. Also, you know what we got to watch out for Canelo and Charlo? If Canelo tries to beat up Charlo's arms. He's got to watch out for that. Remember, he beat Colin Smith's arm to shit, and he tried to do it with Bivol, and Bivol caught it. Like, he caught on to it. Like, beat that man arm up. Here, let me show you Colin Smith's arm. Like, he did dude arm dirty. Look at this shit. Smart tactic. Smart tactic. You know? That's smart. That's smart. Here, let me look at Bevo joint. You know, you can't get to the body, just start beating up his arms. Start beating up his arms. I got Charlo. I got Charlo. Charlo all the way. In a close fight. Canelo in a close fight. I'm sorry, Charlo in a close fight. Freudian slip there. Who knows? I wish I was a degenerate gambler because I knew in my bones, in my gut, that Canelo was going to lose to Bivol. And I wish I would have gambled on that fight, and I wish I would have gambled on Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz won. Like, I just knew in my gut. I was like, that's it. And of course I knew that Fury was going to lose to Wilder. Wilder was going to lose to Fury. Bertabiev is always injured. He's injured again. He's just had a, and he really don't like boxing. He just does it to like feed his family. I met him, covered him. Like, he was in Philly. Him versus Volzdik. I was at that fight. Like, Bertabiev just fight to pay the bills, for his family, like regular dude. Like, he said he don't watch boxing, no nothing. Like, he's just, like he said, like, this is my job. Like, some fighters be like that. It's just like, listen, this is my job. You go to work, I go to work. Why do I have Charlo? Mostly because of Canelo's had a lot of wear and tear. And I don't see the weight being a big factor for Charlo. And I think he could win on points in a close fight. Jermell Charlo's coming off of a big hand injury. So a lot of times with hand injuries, a lot of fighters are afraid to throw it hard because, they start, having those fears that they can break it again. Ironically enough, about a year and a half ago, I went to visit a friend in a Philly gym, and we were bullshitting around, and I broke my hand. Like, I hit him right on the top of his head. No wraps, no nothing. I had the gloves on, and I broke my hand. It was horrible. Like, I'm talking about, like, the pain just shooting up. Like, sheesh. Or turning a doorknob. I had, like, a legitimate boxer's fracture. Okay, I'll show you. Let me see if I got it. Let me show you I had, like, it was some shit, man. Like, and I broke my hand. Like, I've broken my hand 3 times now in life. Like, not a good feeling, man. The first time I punched somebody in a bowling alley back in, this was like 2001, 2002. So my hands are brittle. Like, wild brittle. Where's that x-ray at? Like, crazy brittle. Like, I was like, never again. This is me when I was in a coma. I was fucked up. That was me in another universe. Like, I was trash. I was trashed. Like, one thing about a coma I can tell you, though, it's like you're in another world. That shit's scary. Here's me. Here's me and my cat. Scott. Rest in peace, Scott. Cool cat. Cool cat. Well, anyway, I can't find that picture. Can't find. Oh, here's when Ramla Ali, she's rematching. She's rematching the girl who did this to her. Like, this is like, isn't this like art? I would frame this. I would frame that. I would frame that. Oh, here it is. I found it. Yeah, I would frame that.
All All right, so Canelo Álvarez is finished up his workout. And, Canelo, I got to tell you, as I'm watching you, train and prepare, I feel like this is, you look very lean. This is the fastest I've seen you in a while. Is that fair to say? Is that accurate? Because you look very fast. You look very agile on your feet, very elusive.
I don't know how I look, but I feel great. And I feel great, and I think it's one of my best camp I ever had, and I'm glad to be able to train 100% now with my left hand. You see a little bit.
I got a nice dose.
Yeah, you see a little bit, and that's made me feel confident, because when you in your 100%, you feel confident. When you train knowing your 100%, you in the fight is gonna be like not that confident you have every time, right? But right now I feel great. I feel in my 100%. I feel like a beast.
I feel like you're happy training, and there's like a look in your eye where you're enjoying every moment of training. Is that because you are totally healthy?
Yeah. You can see the vibes here, right? It's because I'm able to train 100%, and that made me feel made me feel great. That made me feel confident. That's all that matters. When you feel confident, it's everything.
Are there any changes to training because you're up here in the mountains and at altitude?
Just come and train here. We always prepare 100% wherever we are. But just train here is different. The altitude feel different. At the beginning, I can breathe very well, and right now I feel great. My body feel great, and all around is great. Being here in Turkey, California is just something amazing. I found a place what's made me feel happy and strong.
Now, when you looked at and saw Jermell Charlo during your press conferences in New York and LA, what did you take away from his size? Because people are saying, well, he's going up 2 weight classes. He's a very big super welterweight, and you could tell that I think he is, I think he's going to handle the weight well. What are your thoughts?
No, he's good for 168. He's big, and I did that before. So I jumped 2 weight classes, and I think when you are a great champion, it doesn't matter.
When you are the guy that everyone is trying to fight, how do you maintain that hunger during the course of your prize fighting career? You're not doing this for the money. You got money to last you, I don't know how many generations, but what motivates you?
I love boxing, and I love being involved in this kind of fights. Like this fight motivates me a lot because, like I say, he and his brother talk a lot of things about me, and they don't believe about my skills, and that's motivating. And right now, I'm glad to be involved in this kind of fights because I'm gonna show September 30 all my skills and show them why I'm here.
You always have elaborate and spectacular ring walks, ring entrances. Have you thought about what you're gonna do when you walk to the ring? Who might walk you out? Can you give us a little preview of what we can expect on September 30th?
We can say anything. Just maybe a couple days before the fight, we say something, but it's gonna be something amazing. The Mexicans need to feel so proud about it.
Do you want to go at points, because during your career, at every point of a fight, you want to go toe-to-toe with your opponent? Is that what you're hoping to do against Jermell Charlo at some point during the fight on September 30th on Showtime pay-per-view?
I don't know what kind of boxing bring that night, to be honest. I don't know if he's going to go forward or he's going to move, but I don't care too, because I fight with a lot of styles, and I have the experience to adapt myself to every style. So and now I feel like a beast, so I can do everything in the ring, and I can adapt myself to any style.
What are you hoping to show the world on September 30th when you take on Jermell Charlo, Undisputed versus Undisputed?
It's going to be a great fight because he has a lot of skill. It's going to be a great fight, but I expect a big win for Mexico.
If you could give a message to Jermell Charlo and he's watching this, what do you want to tell him?
No, nothing. Just I know he's training very well. He's gonna eat it for sure. And I see him September 30.
Your prediction for that night?
I'm gonna win. I don't know how, but I'm gonna win. Knockout or decision, but I'm gonna win.
Canelo, always appreciate it. Good luck.
He's
we look
not gonna
forward
win.
to seeing you over the next few weeks. Cannot wait for September 30th, you against Jermell Charlo.
Me too. Thank you.
Canelo Álvarez joining
He ain't
us.
gonna
That'll
win.
do it from right here in Lake Tahoe. We will see you as we get ready for Fight Week. Canelo Álvarez, as we go ahead, the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. You do not want to miss it, ladies and gentlemen. What a night we are going to have. It is Canelo and Charlo on Showtime pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time, presented by Premier Boxing Champions, promoted by Canelo Promotions and TGB Promotions. We'll see you in Fight Week in Las Vegas.
It's about pride. It's about legacy.
He ain't gonna win. Not on my. I'm sorry. I don't have Canelo. Did y'all hear that interview? I had it low. I don't know if you guys heard that. Well, anyway, I'm going to be here on September the 30th. We're going to be streaming the entire card. Yes, we will. So lately, I've been doing that. I've been streaming the major joints like early, like during the actual events. So, you know, we do fight analysis. We talk about, we show brief highlights, legal, fair use highlights in between rounds. So basically, my live streams during the fights, nobody's doing them like me. Nobody. Hating on who? Who am I hating on? On Canelo? How can I hate on Canelo? I'm Mexican. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. I do feel I might have a little bit of Mexican in me, though. Like, I'm talking about, like, not identifying. I'm talking about, like, pure Mexican blood. I need to check, what is it called? Ancestry.com. Ancestry.com. No, listen. Just because I'm picking Charlo, see, what y'all got to understand is sometimes I'll go with my heart, and that's when I'm always wrong. People that tell you, yo, if he tell you somebody going to win, pick the other person. That's been a known thing. But every now and then, when I actually put my mind to it, and I'm not on no dickhead shit, and I'm like, all right, analyze the fight. Don't, because if you was to ask me, I would say Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. can beat everybody. I was a big time, I rode with Chavez Jr. Like, he broke my heart when he lost to Anderson Silva. My heart was already hurting because of the performance he put on against Canelo. I said he was going to beat Canelo. I was like, I made this whole big storyline. I was like, you know, he'll finally be able to, you know, give his father something that'll last for eternity. You know, the sins of the father will be paid for. Chavez Jr. is the most focused. You know, if he gets Canelo on the ropes. Like, I was talking all this shit. And all he did was, his battle for him was make him 164.5 pounds. That was the fight to him. Once he got into the ring, he ain't do shit. People were all throwing shit at him and Mickey Rourke. I covered Mickey Rourke on YouTube. You want to see that shit? You want to see how low T Street was? You want to see how low I was, bro? In boxing, I paid my fucking dues. Look at me. Look at me. That's me. 8 years ago, 10,000 views covering 62-year-old Mickey Rourke KO some guy in Moscow. November the 28th of 2014. I paid my dues. I paid my dues. I paid my dues. Look at me. I'm disgusted.
I don't know what I just watched, and I don't think I want to know what I just watched. I just watched 61-year-old Mickey Rourke in Moscow knock out some dude that was 1-9. Well, he's 1-10 now. Mickey Rourke at 61 years old has scored his first knockout. And when I say it was ill, I cannot put into words.
Look, I'm in anguish. Ugh. Now that I think about it, what was I thinking? So when it comes to this boxing shit, yo, I did my part. I've been out here, boots on the ground, covering bullshit, paying for a lot of this shit. So I'm sorry, let me calm down. I'm getting a little untethered. My breathing exercise. Everybody calm down. But yeah, listen. I'm trying to think of some other nasty fights I covered. What was I talking about again? How did we get on this? Oh, how basically I don't go with my heart as much as I used to after Chavez Jr. let me down. Broke my heart. And then if there was any boxer, any world champion boxer, former world champion boxer, that would lose to an MMA fighter, it would be Chavez Jr., if not Chavez Jr., Adrian Broner. If there's any two fighters that can fuck up something as simple as a cup of coffee, it would be those two. But I didn't want to believe it. Chavez Jr. lost to Anderson and Spider Silva, got outboxed, was getting played with. But yeah, I think that Jermell Charlo can defeat Canelo Álvarez. Canelo's getting a little long in the tooth. They're both 33 years old, but Canelo's got a lot of stop-and-go traffic. Charlo, however, the layoffs, that's something. His trainer, Derek James, got a lot of pressure on him. I said it in multiple videos. I think that he spread too thin, meaning Derek James. You know, he had Frank Martin, who didn't look good in his last fight. Errol Spence got beat to shit. Joshua, okay. He's got Ryan Garcia now, who may be taking on Pedro Campa. It should be O'Hara Davies. I'm hoping it is. Then he's got to swing. He's got this fight with Jermell. Then he's got to swing back out and start training Spence, if he has Spence again for the biggest fight of his life, if he still has Spence. Then Joshua, for it could be Wilder. Then Ryan Garcia. That is a trainer who, you know, he might be spread too thin. So Charlo is not known to be like really a jabber. He can box. He has shown us that he can box. How is he going to be able to take Canelo's punches? Canelo has taken punches from bigger fighters. I don't see Charlo being able to drop or stop Canelo. I don't see that. I see Charlo being able to steal rounds from activity. I think he can try to outwork Canelo, but what he has to do is he can't get too close. Dimitri Bivol didn't really commit to any of his shots. He just was out there basically like he was sparring Canelo for real. He wasn't sitting down on no punches. I don't think that's the way to go for Charlo unless it's like actually there. Unless you see the knockout. Don't talk about no more lockdowns. Ain't no more lockdowns coming. I was never locked down anyway. I'm in a heavy let's say conservative Republicanish area to an extent. So our business owners, they didn't lock down. So, you know, the bars, all they did was tint their windows. You know, and if you knew, like, basically ain't shit shut down here, and our police force is very small. So they're like, we ain't doing none of that shit. I just want to know what everybody did with all the toilet paper. I never seen nothing like it. They was tearing that toilet paper up. Where is all that shit? You know? And remember, to get like bleach, shit was like fucking $20 a bottle. Like, what the hell was going on? I got so much hand sanitizer. I got like 4 gallons of hand sanitizer. Gallons. And then all these little bottles and everything. This is too much. And no, I didn't do none of that mask shit. I remember how people would look at you so shocked. They're like, oh. One lady was like, oh, no mask. It's like, you get out of here. Get out of here. Who is the hardest puncher Charlo has faced? Let's go look at that. It's a good question. And you know who I can't stand? I get away from them. You know, if I'm pulling into like the supermarket and like I look at my rear view and I see somebody driving with a mask on in their car and the windows are up, it's like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with anywhere you're going to be. Right. And plus, I'm asthmatic. You know, breathing through a mask. I remember I had to go to the. Remember, you had to go to the gym in the mask. You getting waterboarded. So I had one of the masks you get to pull up. Like when I had a rec. I have my mask for outside. My looking nice mask. You know, if I'm with the lady or something like that. And you know, I had like my little bullshit mask. Like, all right, you know, the guy got a head to get some gas. My little bullshit joint on. And then I had the actual face mask where I would wear to the gym. So you sweating, you breathing, like, ugh, man, it's fucking mask, man. Get the mask out my face. So anyway, let's go look at the hardest puncher Jermell Charlo was ever fought. Remember what he did to Jason Rosario? He was down there convulsing. I thought he was going to throw up on himself. I would say I was there when he knocked out Erickson Lubin. I was so pissed. I went to the back. I was there at the Barclays Center. I went to the back to get some of the food before Dan Rayfield got it. So basically, when you go to a Barclays event center fight as media, they have like a buffet there at the very beginning. I'm talking about the media, you go straight to the back, and it's like a buffet, free food. But the first ever event I went to, I think it was Chip that told me, like basically they say like, listen, no bullshit. I don't know if it was like a running joke or whatever it was. No bullshit. He like, listen, like you hungry? Yeah, go back there now and go motherfucking make you a plate before Dan Rayfield show up. You see, eat all this shit up. No bullshit. He was like, man, go back there and motherfucking make a motherfucking plate like before Dan Rayfield. That's what. And then somebody told me it twice. Like, bro. So anyway, and at the end of the night, around the time of the main event, the staff come out and change out the food and put out like cookies, crackers, cheeses, little meats and everything. I did a video when I ran into Errol Spence and Tank Davis. Let me show you this shit. Well, anyway, I was going to the back to get some snacks to go to my seat. I think I was like the very last row of media. To go get my seat. Wait a minute. No, wait. What was that main event? Wasn't that main event Lara somebody? Anyway, moving on. By the time I go back to get the snack, come back, Erickson Lubin was knocked out. Like, knocked the fuck out. Like, you know? So, when you look at Jermell Charlo's hardest puncher, it's a good question. Let me see. T Street. Let me see. Tank, Spence. They was fucked up. Yeah, this is me. They fucking up this shit. I've had some very unique interactions with some boxers. This was after, I don't know what fight this was. Lost tapes. Errol Spence and Tank Davis chowing down, talking boxing at Charlo Harrison. Oh, yeah, they was eating this old-ass food. This was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mumble rapper, walk up in this bitch, a bunch of killers and humble trappers. I can go to Hollywood to core in this jungle acting with niggas that are smoking gold. I drink this bottle of water, go run it.
All right, story time. So all this shit been sitting out for hours, old ass guac. And the first thing I'm thinking, like, hey man, like y'all don't want to fail no drug test or no shit like that. Y'all just eating this shit. People hands been all over it. And let me tell you, I've been to events where you'd be surprised who goes to the bathroom and does not wash their hands. A well-known promoter. Like, bro, like, niggas is nasty.
This is healthy.
Nah, man.
Shit's all healthy. I don't think so.
Nah, man, that's regular.
It's
wheat.
corn.
That's wheat deep fried.
Yeah, it's corn.
Nah, that's deep fried.
Sure.
I'm positive.
We're
Go for the vegetables. Go for the vegetables.
I don't like none of these vegetables.
You gotta have them, man.
What that is? That's good. I mean, You know I can fight.
Squash or some shit?
Thurman, no.
No, I don't know what that shit
Harold,
is.
your reaction to Bob Arum offering Danny Garcia $3 million to fight Terence Crawford? You think that's legit or
I am hungry.
Is that enough?
That's what we talked to though. He said in the interview.
You don't believe him?
He said in the interview he don't know how to get in touch with Al. They be man, the dude be saying different stuff.
Oh
Man, he can't see now. He be saying different stuff. Like sometimes he'll say, "Oh, I'm thinking Al exists," and then he'll say, "Cause you remember I confronted him at 10. I was like, you say Al don't exist." And he's like, "Oh, Al exists." So he just be saying stuff.
You got Terence
like
Crawford?
sometimes he say, "Yeah, I got his number now."
You guys been chopping it up, any?
You ain't that friendly. I respect him though.
Is that a good credible fight for you?
Oh, come on. That's God whispering, man. That's God whispering. He's telling you, man. That's God calling.
That's God calling. Danny did a lot of good stuff. A lot of people don't get to it. I don't know why. Because I guess because his style is like nothing amazing, but he's just not a winner. All right. Danny Garcia. Like, he don't do nothing amazing, but he wins all the time. People don't give him his credit.
How was it sizing up Terence Crawford, like after finally seeing him, face to face?
I mean, you heard what I said. Hey, dude. I like Terence. He can fight.
Hey, what's your reaction to Keith Thurman saying that he's going to fight you in 2020, not in 19? He said 2020 is the year. He said it's an Olympic year. He said that's when he wants to fight. What's your
Y'all had me talking that whole damn time. And y'all didn't tell me I was on mute. I just told a whole story. The best story about boxing. And as you can see, man. You let me down. Y'all let me down. I was talking about the time me and Al Heyman went to lunch. I'm just bullshitting you. I did meet Al Heyman though at Khan Algieri. He got these fucking, you could tell he used to hoop. He got these long ass fucking fingers and he got a stride to him. And his suits, you can tell, like them suits, you can tell he rich because his suits be old as shit. And you could tell like they got like that sheen, like they've been dry cleaned and pressed like so many times. Yeah, I was telling a crazy story. Like I was like, yeah, so me and Keith Thurman, it was this fight out in New York, and it was a secret Kumite tournament. Like I was telling, but it just wasn't meant to be for y'all to hear it. It just wasn't meant to be for y'all to hear it. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. I ain't gonna say who. But there's a promoter out there who be pissing and not washing his hands and then going back out. Like, that should be a VADA violation. Like, you shouldn't be around boxers and shit. Heyman like 6'2". He like 6'2". Like, he's about, like, he real long, pause. Like, about 6'2". I was in the back doing a video between fights. And it was in the press conference room, but people don't be back there. They usually be in their seat. And him and which one was it? I think it was Brandon Watson. They were walking past as I was going out, and I was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Brandon shook my hand first, because basically, when you be at these events, look at it like this: you're all colleagues. You start all like to be at the same events, because at one point in time, I was going to every event in the Barclays Center. So, after a while, you kind of get like a feel of the arena where you're going to be sitting. But yeah, I met Al Heyman. That shit was crazy. But that's where he'd be in the back. Or in a box somewhere. You would never see him he won't be nowhere where the media are, ever. So when I caught him, nobody was back there. The video's on the channel somewhere. Not a video of him, but when I was back there. And I did find all that disrespectful, because you'll have some people, if you know, some people that'll be trying to sneak pictures of him and everything. And it's all right, man, all right. That's some bullshit. Obviously the man don't want to be seen. Have I ever been starstruck by boxers? Nope. I interviewed Floyd. I interviewed McGregor. I interviewed Dana White. You know who I never got personally? I never got Manny Pacquiao. I got all the big fighters. I never got Manny Pacquiao. I even got Joshua. I never got Manny Pacquiao. I got Joshua, Wilder. Even if it's just a minute, I've got interviews. Joshua, Wilder, Floyd. Even if it's just a question, Floyd, McGregor, Dana White. Oh, and I never got Canelo. I never got Canelo, and I never got Manny Pacquiao. But basically, all the major champions of this era, I have at one point in time, even Colin Smith. All the way down to Luke Campbell in Philly. Katie Taylor, I interviewed her multiple times. Imagine that. In 3 different places. For 3 different fights. Why do you think Al Heyman like a ghost? I've heard some things, but that's not my place. Why did Fury compare himself to getting Ngannou out of there? Don't get me started. I just don't want to talk about Tyson Fury. He's on some Dosser shit. Tyson Fury is just on some weird shit, man. But then again, it's okay, you're going to make money. All right, cool. But to me, he had no intentions on fighting Joshua or Usyk. He was always going after that Ngannou fight. He was always going after that fight. He had no intentions on really fighting them. And the thing is, he can beat Usyk and Joshua. He did have issues with the smaller fighter than Steve Cunningham. He did talk about on the Joe Rogan podcast having issues with the smaller fighters. But Tyson Fury, no matter the bullshit, he's a very skilled dude, no matter how he looks. And remember, this is a guy who don't gas out. This is a guy who don't gas out nothing. So, all he got to do, he can just use his body and weight and just lean and make it ugly for Usyk all night. Usyk will have to do a lot of moving. You got to have Usyk uncomfortable. Derek Chisora had him uncomfortable, constant pressure. Joshua had him uncomfortable. Those 2 fights weren't easy for Usyk, especially that first one. He was working. And those body shots, I liked Joshua's performance in the first fight better than the second fight. I really thought, I really liked him as the pressure fighter. He was on Usyk ass. He couldn't stop those straights to the body, though. I never interviewed Savannah Marshall. I did Clarissa Shields multiple times. I actually watched Joe Smith versus Jesse Hart right there ringside with Clarissa Shields. And we were both watching on our phones Franchon Cruz de Zern fighting Alejandra Jimenez, the LGBTQ plus fighter that got popped for steroids, the one with the deep ass voice. But yeah, No, I think, listen, Fury can outbox Joshua. And Usyk, remember, Fury can jab. Like, Fury's got an arsenal. He's not a one-dimensional fighter. And if he wants to, he can fight southpaw. Take that away. Just because Fury been on some bullshit, like, dude is a really special fighter. 6'9", 6'8", 6'9". He can jab. He can fight southpaw. Sit on his punches. He's got body shots. He knows how to be savvy, and even if he wants somewhat dirty in the ring, he knows how to use his body. Like, dude ain't no slouch. Dude ain't no slouch. But what I'm gonna do is get up out of here. Let me check. I know there's some significant fights this week, like Sky Nicholson. She's fighting for a title this week, and I'm interested in that fight. Let's see here. I'm interested in that fight. Hold on, pull up the boxing schedule. Where we at? Where's this boxing schedule at? Come on, there you go. Let's see what we got this week. Okay, Luis Lopez is taking on Joel Gonzalez. Damn, this is like Joet's third title shot? Or was it the fourth? Xander Zayas is creeping up on a mandatory fight for the WBO title. He's going to be the mandatory, it's looking like, for the winner of Tim Tszyu versus Brian Mendoza. He's on his way there. Emiliano Vargas, okay. Top Rank signed him. Fernando Vargas' son. Jermaine Ortiz is on the card against Antonio Moran. This is a good card. Robson Consacao. This is a good card. Covering that, this the zone card from Mexico. The only fight I'm really interested in is Sabrina Perez versus Sky Nicholson. That's for the WBC interim title. Thunderdome still doing videos? I haven't seen him in years. Like, years. I haven't seen anything from him in years. I never really watched the content. I would peek in every now and then, but I never really actually watched and followed. All right, cool. We got William Zepeda taking on Marcelo Gesta. It's time for Zepeda to step up, like really, really step up. Okay, so we got some solid cards this week to hold us over. Next week is the big one between CCP Zheli Zhang versus Joe Joyce. Anthony Yards returning. Richardson Hitches versus Jose Zepeda. That's a very good fight. Austin Ammo Williams versus Steve Rose. Okay, I like that step up for Austin Ammo Williams. Jessica McCaskill versus Sandy Ryan. That's going to be a good fight. And Jessica McCaskill was in some heat with Matchroom, and she might not be there much longer. You know, she was basically insinuating that Matchroom was contaminating drug tests because of Alicia Baumgartner. Because Alicia Baumgartner having her last fight with them, so basically they try to make you dirty before you leave. Like, it's just, you know, when I heard it was on the Boxer Voice, and I was like, okay, lady, you better be careful. You know, you're gonna burn some bridges there, and women's boxing, you can't afford to burn no bridges. You think Crawford will move up without Charlo? Move on? What do you mean? Terrence Crawford has said he doesn't want to fight Charlo if Charlo is not undisputed. He wanted Charlo for the undisputed for the history. So, in my personal opinion, after the Spence rematch, if he wins that Canelo fight, I see it happening. And Charlo will likely not be going back down to 154 pounds, especially not for no Tim Tszyu. He'll likely go to 160, which was always his plan. But it's like, what is his brother going to do? Now, we know that Jermell Charlo, when he returns, he's definitely on his way to 168 pounds. So, like, he's got to give up that belt. But the 160-pound division is just a dead-ass wasteland. You got Zinjabek Alimhanallah taking on Vicente Gutierrez to unify the IBF and the WBO titles. Did you know that? That's official. That's next month. I think it's like October the 15th or something, or the 14th. Let me check. You got a 160-pound unification next month against two fighters where people are like, oh, shit, what, who? Yeah, it's on the 14th in Texas. And then you got Erickson Lara, who has the WBA. He ain't been doing shit for years. Fighting Gary Spike O'Sullivan. He's supposed to be fighting Danny Garcia at a catchweight of 155. So you can have Jermell Charlo, Jermell Charlo, WBC, Danny Garcia, WBA, and Zinzibek Alimhanallah as the unified IBF and WBO champion. Ill. Wild division. And Golovkin, he's supposed to be having a comeback fight to be a retirement fight. Good. He just gave up on boxing. He got that money. He got that money, and he was never the same. Never the same. He started dressing like motherfucking Crockett from Miami Vice, wearing sunglasses. Told people don't call him Gennady, could call him Gennady. He changed his name and everything. He got Hollywood. He went Hollywood. And once he went Hollywood, shit was never the same for Golovkin. You know, he started shunning the media and, you know, like, got that money, ain't know how to act. But it's good he went home to his family, though. Wasn't he the fighter that his wife had a baby, but he just was like, no, I got to fight tonight? You know? And I do admit, this little bullshit card has got me too. That Logan Paul fight. I want to see this shit. I don't know why. I don't know what the real controversy is outside of dude been just slaughtering his wife on social media or his fiance. But I've been looking. I've been thinking, like, what's the real, like, I don't know what the real beef is outside of that. I don't follow those social media influencers. I don't follow that shit. Yeah, them silk sheiks, man. Hard to get up and train when you got them silk sheets on the bed, you know? Get out there, go give it your all. So this is what I'm going to do. I got to get up out of here. Got chores and shit to do, and the house is just it's a lot going on. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I will be back tomorrow, likely with some world news. Get it from boxing for a little bit until Friday and Saturday. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at @TStreetControversy. The links are down below in the description box.